Hi, kinky people. It's Mistress Vega.
Lady Katie.
And welcome to
The Bonding Experience.
Today, we have a topic for New Year.
New Year, new topic.
Yeah.
All of our topics are always new, though, so.
Right.
We're going to be talking a little bit about different types of punishment. There's punishment, there's training and discipline, and there is punishments.
When you break this stuff down, you can go into a physical punishment versus a mental punishment, emotional punishment, and we're going to talk about kind of do's and don'ts too within those. There's even endurance punishments, such as something to train someone to be able to take more pain. The different types of punishment also kind of roll in accordance with what submissive you're dealing with, what S-type you're dealing with. Because if you have a hardcore masochist, they can take quite a bit.
They're not going to enjoy a flogging, really.
They would probably want something a lot more intense in that punishment because you're kind of catering to them in that way. If you have a little, you don't want to waterboard them for punishment. You're going to want to do over-the-knee spanking.
Timeouts or, stuff like that. Make the punishment fit the crime and the person.
A good thing to do when it comes to physical punishments, a lot of people will do things that make people uncomfortable. You could always put rice down on a cookie sheet and make them kneel in it, taking a penny and placing it to your nose and making them tiptoe and hold it on their nose to the wall and count to whatever designated number you choose. If they drop the penny, they have to start over. And let me tell you, it's kind of like squatting against a wall. Like, it hurts after so long, but it's not going to injure you. So unless you have a sub that has like a physical issue where they can't do that. But it's definitely gets the point across.
Actually, last night I was at a play party with Cliff. I was just telling her. And one of the things is he's not allowed to have sodas without asking permission. And he was cleaning out his car. And guess what I seen? Some soda bottles. So I have a PVC pipe that's white and I call it the straw for him since he likes to drink his sodas. And when he doesn't ask permission and I find out, he gets beat with the straw. And so that is a punishment. And guess what? I guarantee you for the next little bit, he'll ask.
Yeah. It's probably not going to be wanting any soda.
Yeah. Definitely wasn't worth the $2.69, was it, Cliff?
She told me about that. That was funny. If you watch this, bud, that was pretty good.
Like you said, if you're dealing with a more, I guess, soft, submissive, you're not going to beat them like that. You're going to, give them their time out or take away their favorite stuffy.
Emotional punishment. Rule number 1 in this: don't really neglect your sub. Like, to give them a timeout or to take the space away is to, that's one thing. But never should you do that for like an extended period of time. That's when it goes from punishment in BDSM into vanilla abuse. You never want to do that to your submissive. That was actually on Astro's hard limit list in his contract, in which he listed some things, and don't ignore me was in there. So
what? He doesn't want to be ignored, Astro?
And I'm like, well, no one would ever really try and do that because that's bad doming. You don't want to do that to your submissive. Certain things can go too far. So it's all about reading them and knowing everything to make that call, make that judgment on the punishment. And then to each thing, what did they do? Did they break a rule? Was it something small? Was it something large? How important was it? Did it kind of fall into a vanilla problem at that point? Because everything can kind of be taken in different ways. That's where you kind of decide whether it's punishment or punishment. If when Astro did something funny, or it's hard to punish somebody when you're laughing, so that's when it turns into punishment.
Yeah.
And then punishment, she can explain that to you.
Punishment is for fun. Like, there has to be no reason behind it.
Fun punishment.
Fun punishment. Kind of like your maintenance of spankings or beatings or
it definitely leads into something where punishment is more or less like after that they don't necessarily get the reward.
Yeah, no. For me, having to punish my submissive, like, it's fun because I'm sadistic, but my mentality of doing it is to correct a behavior. Whereas when it's just me getting to have fun.
See, I like punishment way better.
Yeah.
Like, punishment for me is like top of the list. It's
like,
great.
It's more freeing. It's just fun. Like, there's no purpose behind it. You're just enjoying the moment. You're enjoying you and the person. Punishments are definitely a needed thing, not only punishments, because that's not fun. That's not what this is all about all the time, is being serious.
And you don't have to own a brat in order to do the punishments either. Mm-hmm. I think that's a misconception. You can do a punishment on a masochist. You can do a punishment on a little. You can do punishments with any S-type for that. Yeah.
Just when you're in the mood, have at it.
Training's completely different. You want to see them disciplined in a certain way, and it's kind of like you both get into these particular mindsets during that, and then you're working towards that goal. A lot of the time it's focused around a certain type of play, such as pet play.
A training kind of punishment is anal training, like getting
chastity training,
stuff like that too.
Is
also,
yeah,
it's not fun for them per se, but it's something needed to continue different types of play, continue different types of mentality connection with, like, chastity, you know, like
how much you can endure.
Yeah.
Such as, like we said, the endurance punishments. It's not as used as much as punishment and punishment are. We also spoke about, like, an ongoing thing in the training. So, like, if your sub is struggling with their weight or something like that, you could say, okay, got you a gym membership and you're going to work out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's a punishment because nobody really enjoys working out all the time. But you can kind of take little things and make it your own.
Fitbits, you know.
Yeah.
You have to walk so many steps a day. If you fail to walk those many steps, the next day you're going to walk those many steps with a plug-in. Or she said eating, you know, Cliff can't have sodas. He has to only have water unless given permission, you know, and that's to help his diet and stuff that he wanted in the beginning.
And then you ask yourself, like, how long does it last? Do you punish for 5 minutes? Do you punish for 20 minutes? That is all individual to you and your S-type. When it comes to examples of punishment, you can do so many different things. Kind of the sky's the limit when it comes to punishment, or punishment for that matter. When it comes to emotional stuff, just be extra delicate and be aware what you're doing, because, like, I've pushed a little bit too far in certain avenues.
You don't want to use someone's insecurities as a punishment. Like, if they did eat something they weren't supposed to, well, you're just a stupid fat whore, you know. Like, being degraded is one thing, and if that's their kink, that's great. Call them all the names they agree to. But there are some names that they might not want to be called a whore, but they're fine with being called a bitch or a slut, you know. So you need to, you know, watch your terms when it comes to mental and emotional play, because there are some things that are triggers and that will actually really emotionally damage your submissive if you don't take care of them in that way. And, like, I would never actually call someone who is struggling with their weight fat, or you're a fat slob, or, you know, there are submissives who love that. But for the most part, you can tell the ones who struggle with this, or struggle with certain things, or growing up their whole life they were told they were a slut or a whore, and that's,
or ugly
or
stupid.
Or stupid. Yeah. Like, you know, and so you need to, and that's another thing you need to discuss beforehand, or, you know, getting to know each other. You'll pick up on their insecurities, and you never want to play on someone's insecurities ever.
No, that's cruel.
Yeah.
We hope that you guys had a great new year, and you guys need to come back next week and see us. But also, I'm going to leave a link down below for you guys to check out Master Kuldrin's podcast. If you haven't already, we highly recommend it. He is fabulous, and he's won a bunch of awards, and he's really cool, and he talks about BDSM, so you guys need to check him out. It's her mentor.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
Hey, Kuldrin.
So, you guys have a brilliant week, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.